All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to live coverage of the German Go Championship 2018, live from Bremen, Germany. I'm Stephen Hu. You might also know me as XA298. I was previously Go streamer. I'm less active nowadays, but here I am doing commentary about this very prestigious championship. I'm very excited to be joining Benjamin Teuber.
Yeah, good morning.
European Six Dan. Very strong indeed. Good to see you. Yeah, how's it going?
Yeah, great so far. I'm really looking forward to this tournament and all the exciting games we will look at.
Yeah, it was a really long night last night. We're just trying to set up everything in this university conference room. So that was definitely a lot of fun. A lot of fun indeed. Yeah, here we are, ready to go, and this is a very, very exciting tournament. This is our one of our first broadcasted events in Europe, actually. So there will be a lot more coming up. We hope you'll stay tuned. For those of you who just joined, this is the Asian strategic game of Go. So it's a very calm game. You're supposed to take your time, but it's very highly competitive. As we can probably hear from Benjamin, I mean, you've done this tournament for like 10 years already, right?
I think I played like 15 times, maybe more.
Oh, wow, so it's more than 10. Okay. How do you do?
Well, I never won it, but I scored like, I think 10 times I got second place. So always close to the top, but not really. But that's fine. Like,
You'll win it one of those times. You're just going easy on them, right?
Yeah, of course.
Championships are overrated. Runner-ups are much more valuable, don't you think? I mean, plus you get more prize money than they have. But yes, so you're very experienced, in this tournament. Tell us a little bit about that experience. I mean, this is a 4-day 7-round tournament, just so you guys know. But how's it like playing in the highest competition in Germany?
I think it's very different from normal tournaments because you really play all day with just 1 or 2 matches, and it feels like a marathon, really, right? It's like 4 days in a row.
Yeah, it's very
from morning
long
to night, and everybody is very tense and very focused all day and night probably as well.
Yeah. So that is
It's
definitely
really something special.
Yeah, it's different from just the casual games you play at the club with your friends, right? But this is very serious, and I think everyone in the Go community knows each other, so I hope they're friends at least. But this is very serious stuff. We're very excited personally. I know that we've come a long way to just organize this event, and now it's finally happening. I hope things will be okay. If you guys just have time, this weekend, especially on Saturday and Sunday, it will be very exciting. I hope you will join the conversation. We will be airing all the coverage live on this channel, which is European Go Federation. So if you wanted to follow more of that, just hit the purple button. Oh my God, we're already doing this. This promotional stuff. Crazy. I've just gotten into the habit now because I used to stream Go, but now I will resume. For those of you who follow the channel, it'll be soon. But yeah, indeed, this is a very serious high level tournament. There are only 8 players. I think it's very exciting when, even though we don't have a lot of players in the tournament, we kind of know who they are and how strong they have become. Right, so every person is among one of the strongest players in Germany, and it's just basically as good as it gets, right? Well, in that case, we'll take a look at the format of this tournament, just in case you guys haven't checked it out already. This is an 8-player round-robin tournament with 120 minutes basic time per player, which means that they will have 2 hours, so plenty of time to reconsider their moves. And after that, there will be Canadian Yoyomi, which means that you will have 10 minutes for the next 50 moves you play, and you really have to kind of control yourself to finish those 15 moves within a 10-minute window. So it's kind of like 40 seconds per move on average. Of course, this is a very high-level tournament, so we have a really complex process of selecting players. Benny will tell you more about that. He's been there like 15 times now. I mean, when was born? Like, the first time.
I don't know, to be honest.
The first time you entered this tournament, I had no idea where I was. But yes, it's a very high quality tournament. They must come through preliminaries, or they must be invited. For example, I think this year we have the defending champion, the runner-up from last year, invited. But of course, everyone else has to come through a point system. So for those of you who have made it already, congratulations. I know you're not watching, so you shouldn't be. You should be focusing on your games and turn off your phones. But this is a great achievement. I think for anyone who reaches this final, regardless of how well they're doing, this is fantastic. Especially this year, we've had a lot of young players. Of course, over the years, we've had German Go Championship for decades now, and in the past, we've had a lot of legendary players, obviously, who won this tournament many times, including just some of the names. I think maybe German players are more familiar with these names, but Franz Josef Dicot is on top right now. He has 11. He's won this tournament for 11 times. And the late Jürgen Maton, who's won it 10 times. Of course, Egbert Rittner, who's won 6 times. In recent years, of course, we have Lucas Kramer, who's still playing in this tournament, actually. And from 2013 to 2016, he won it 4 times in a row. So that was quite impressive. And of course, Christoph Gerlach has won it 3 times. But so yeah, all of them are multiple Go Championship winners. We have a few players who won it twice, and some people who just made it last year. For example, our defending champion Jonas Veltiga, he's looking to extend that winning streak now. But yeah, this is a great honor, if you're from Germany and you're, competing for the highest honor in your country's Go community. This is as good as it gets.
Definitely.
Yeah. So for this year, we actually have 8 players as usual, but I think, Benny, one of the things I noticed is that the field seems to be getting younger and younger every year, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess there are more and more young players coming up to the top, and I'm really excited to see how Art is doing this year. I think he studied in China recently, so
yeah.
Maybe the others are a little bit scared of him. I don't know. We will see.
That's exciting. See, we as broadcasters, that's what we love. Uncertainties. People who have no idea how well they're gonna perform, but they're dangerous, right? But being dangerous is a good thing, of course. There are more players, who've studied in China who've become a lot stronger. But yeah, like this year we just very impressive field, including our last year's champion Jonas Veltiga, Lucas Kramer, who won it 4 times, and this year I think he's seeking to get his revenge on Jonas. Of course, Arvid Pinner, who was the crowd favorite by far. When we promoted this event on Reddit, it was like he was massive favorite.
So and everybody's cheering for the youngster.
Yeah. I mean, well, perhaps other players like more experienced players like Johannes Obenhaus. He's a 6th down from Berlin. He might want to win it for a few more times before the youngsters take over. Of course, Matthias Pankok from Oldenburg, but he's also, I think, Italian. Christopher Catwin, who's a very strong 5 down. I saw him in Frankfurt last weekend. So all these players are very good. Martin Husika, who's also very young. When we were researching, these players' information, they're kids. And now they've grown up and they're competing on the highest stage of Germany's Go community, and that's really awesome. And of course, we have to mention Maya Martz, who I think has won the German Women's Championship for I think 8 or 9 years now. So she's definitely a dominating force by far in the German women's community. She's attending this tournament as a player for the first time. Of course, we'll hear more from her later in the week. But yeah, this is a very strong field. For the first round, we actually have we've been trying really hard to just set up the boards. You can imagine if you're really here, it's hectic, it's crazy because we're trying to set up all the cameras and all the boards. Our fantastic staff are staying up, working overtime to get that ready. But and as we see the players are playing upstairs, it's Jonas Vertica, who is the favorite, I guess, taking white against Matthias Bangkok, and Lucas Kramer taking white against Christopher Catchman, Arvid against Martin, and Johannes versus Manya. So all very strong matchups. It's really hard to pick a favorite. You know, I think all of these games are going to be very exciting to watch. So that's fantastic. Let's take a look at our spotlight match of the day. Throughout this commentary, we will bring you live progress from especially Board 1 and Board 2, but just the spotlight match, the most important match will be Board 1 with the Jonas Vertica versus Matthias Bangkok. In the past, we played each other 9 times in European tournaments. Jonas, of course, has been dominating, you know, this head-to-head. He's won 8 times out of 9, so that's he's pretty strong. But of course, both of them are growing. Jonas was a 3-dan or a 5-dan, I think, a few years ago, but now he's 6-dan. He's ranked 52nd in Europe, I believe. He has just a few days ago he beat like one of the strongest players, like Young Kim, who's I mean, he really gets beaten.
Yeah, that was amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah. I was there. It was incredible. So I mean, his confidence is sky high right now. And as you guys may have known if you follow Go News, like he also won the European Student Championship just a few months ago, and he I think he was in Bochum and like in Wuppertal. He won all these things. I mean, so he's just on hot winning streak right now. Of course, he was also the defending champion from last year. I'm sure that will bring him nice memories, but which actually we're about to look into just a bit later. But yeah, he'll be the strong favorite. Of course, Matthias Bangkok has also represented, you know, his country in many international tournaments. He's now 5-dan. So.
Yeah, and I think you really shouldn't neglect considering Matthias' strength. Also in this tournament, I remember playing him, and I feel like in this championship, everybody's doing his very best, and Matthias does this especially well, I would say.
So he's a great tournament player, you would say.
Yeah, and he's really like super focused on this championship. So
Yeah.
I really expect a tough game for both.
Yeah. Well, of course, we hope that both of them will perform to their best, so we can see a great game. Matthias wasn't here last year, though. His best record was 5th in 2015. As we look into the records, of course, he's trying to be better than that this year. Maybe he will achieve his personal best. So that's all very exciting, of course. But on the other 3 boards, we have I think Lucas Kramer taking on Christopher Catchman, and as you can see, another dominating head-to-head. The story is very telling. Lucas has won all 7 of their previous meetings, but of course Christopher will be looking to complete in an upset. Lucas is also one of the strongest favorites for this tournament, having won it 4 times in a row during 2013-2016. Christopher has been temporarily on the later end. He was here last year, placing 6th, but I think he's going to try his best, performing better this year as well.
Yeah, Christoph is one of these players who have been steadily improving over the last years, and you don't really know how strong he's become, or at least I don't know.
Well, that's the most dangerous thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I mean, it's just like the game they played. He played against Jonas Vertica. Last weekend I was there in Frankfurt am Main, and I mean I think he had almost pretty good position, you know, into the game, even though he lost that eventually. He was doing quite well. So I mean, all of these players are very strong. So sometimes don't let the numbers fool you. They're all very talented at this game, I would say. On board 3, of course, we have Ari Pittner, our favorite, the blonde kid, the blonde wonder kid. He's only, I think, 15 or 16 years old. We don't have it on paper now. All we can say is that both these players are very young. Ari Pittner against Martin Husika. I met Martin in Thailand. I remember when he was at the World Amateur Oh, no, sorry, the World Collegiate Go Championships, and we had a really great time. But yeah, both of these players are up and rising. They're both 4 done. You could say right now Arvid is maybe a bit more dangerous because we don't know how well he's going to perform. But yeah, also given his previous record, he's never. This is his first time, but it could be just a really big surprise. That if he wins it, this year, it'll be just an awesome achievement for March, and of course he'll be trying to do better this year, having already competed in 2015, 2016. Yeah, I think that will also be a good match, right?
Yeah, so for Arvid, I'm really excited to see how well he can keep up with this long-going tournament. Like, I think when I was doing my first German Championship final, I was a little older than Arvid. I think I was more like 17. And I think I got like the last or second to last place because I just couldn't keep up the focus all day for 4 days long.
I mean it's a long tournament.
But I mean, he had been studying a lot in China as well, so maybe he's doing better with that. But we have to see.
Well, that's the test of time, right? Because young players like to, as we know, they like to blitz, they like to play rapid fire. But when they are given 2 hours, then it's a whole different story, right? Because you can really just sit down and think about your moves, so there might be less mistakes, like careless mistakes from your opponent. And so, of course, that's very exciting. We look forward to that. On board 4, we must not neglect this rivalry between Johannes Oberhaus and Manja Marz. They played each other 5 times before. Johannes has won, I believe, 4 out of their previous 5 games. There we can see their picture there. Johannes is looking very handsome. I think we got that one from Tagesspiegel. So he was a stud. It was like one of the favorite pictures we found.
Yeah, it's really nice, isn't it?
But actually, yeah, he was runner-up in I think 6 years ago in 2012. So actually that took one of your runner-up titles away.
Yeah.
Okay, we should not mention that much. Of course, Manja has been dominating all the time in the German Women's Championship, which just took place last week. So she just won it in Frankfurt, and now she'll be looking to compete in the German Go Championship, which is open obviously to all the players. And yeah, we'll see how she does. And she is from Jena, as you guys may know. Jena has an international school, which we will talk about later. But I was looking forward to the car ride with Johannes from Berlin to Bremen, but didn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, in this game, I would say Johannes is the favorite. But Manja, she always comes up with some really interesting and ingenious openings. So.
That's her specialty, like the Fuseki stuff?
Yeah, like she has some. She might have something prepared. I'm not sure. So we can see if she can somehow trick Johannes or disturb his balance.
Yeah. That's always so great, especially when you're spectating and you know that this is a trick and you're just like, fall for it.
I mean, it won't be a clear trick like, okay, this move wins, this move loses. But just trying to do something unusual where you don't know everything from the book, how to deal with it, and you can be thrown off balance maybe.
I think that's the beauty of Go, because in chess, for example, you might have a lot of openings to remember, but in Go, sometimes the Fuseki doesn't matter so much. You might get ahead or behind, but there's still a whole mid game to fight. Right. So a lot of the games are actually going to be decided in mid game or towards like the end game almost. Like you can get into like an early lead with Joseki, but it's long battles, right? So you have to be persevering until the end.
Yeah, and even in the opening, I mean, even though there are some such openings or that have been studied a lot, Go is such a free game, so it's very easy just after like 4 or 5 moves to have a really unique position that was never seen before.
Yeah.
So you can do whatever you like, and as long as your moves fit together and you follow one sound strategy and you have a good reading, then you can make it work.
Right. Well, we'll see what kind of tricks these players will pull out of their bags. Of course, this is a wonderful first round. We have 7 rounds in total, so you can just imagine how excited we are here in the studio. I mean, normally I think this is just for people who want to study here quietly, but now this room is filled with excitement. We just don't know how it's gonna go, but of course we'll try our best. I think I'm like half decent. Obviously you're stronger than I am, but
Am I?
we'll just try our best. We'll find out.
Yeah, I think we should maybe. Next
Play
break,
an
you
air,
want to play
yeah.
a blitz or something?
No, 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 no. My arms were just hurt from all the
Right.
just don't throwing. I don't look forward to that. But yeah, of course, we'll be trying our best to bring you live commentary. Before we do that, however, the players will be taking their time into the Fuseki. When we come back just from a short break, we will bring you guys one of the highlights. That was what you decided when we were talking last night. One of the highlights of last year's tournament, because as we've seen, in the head-to-head, Lucas Kramer has won the tournament for 4 years in a row, but last year things started changing. He was almost gonna complete the 5-year winning streak, and in Japan they do this thing like if you win 5 years in a row, then you're the honorary, Meijin or whatever. But his streak was broken, so this is, perhaps like one of the most important games in the context of last year's match. But we'll do that when we come back from the break. We thank you so much for joining us so far. But yeah, don't go away. We'll be right back. Hey guys, welcome back to the live commentary of the 2018 German Go Championship. I'm Stephen Hu, also known as X298 for those of you who follow Go on the internet. We're back after the break. We just had Benny went to take a nice cup of coffee. I hope you're energetic now.
Always.
But yes, for those who just joined, thank you for your patience. We've been backstage. This has been crazy. We've been trying to, get everything to work. And sometimes it could be difficult, but we just hope to, fix all the things that might go wrong, and that's our plan for the day. Of course, for our schedule today, we have some live commentaries to do, but as we promised, we are going to look a little bit into last year's, one of last year's games that was quite pivotal to Jonas Veldika's victory. He did win the German Championship in 2017. That was in Frankfurt, I believe. And he was playing against, I think, Lucas Kramer, right?
Yeah, I mean, that wasn't the last game, but probably the decisive one, so we will have a look at that.
Yeah. So just to clear, in this tournament, everyone plays everyone. It's a round robin. So actually, this wasn't the last round, but rather round 5. Oh no! According to our pairings this year, they will face off in round 7. So whoever wants to win this thing must be focused until the last day.
Yeah, I mean, that's the idea of this system. Like
Yeah.
the last year's champion and last year's second place, they meet in the last round.
I see. So that's always been a tradition.
Previously, it has been different. Yeah.
So you probably went through a lot of those.
Yes.
Oh.
Actually, a couple of times
doing this now.
it was really. I was so close to being German champion. One time, I lost because we didn't switch the komi. We played with 6 komi still, or everywhere else in Germany we played with 7 komi already.
Yeah.
And if it was 7 already, I would have been German champion. But in the last game, I lost by by 1 point, and this I couldn't. Or one time, it was I was depending on another game, and the player who I needed to win, he was winning big time.
Yeah.
But he was a 3 down, and he was very nervous.
Yeah.
And then he made a really bad blunder, so his territory could be entered on the first line.
Yeah.
And then he continued his blunder for like 3 moves until he noticed that it was a blunder. He lost by that.
He fixed the hole. Right?
Yeah. And one time the player who I needed to win lost on time, so I really have a lot of anecdotes like that. I guess it just shouldn't be.
I'm so sorry. Well, now I feel like genuinely, I don't know what I would have done if I were you. But it's the last round is very important, and I think that's what matters. To win the German Championship, you have to stay focused and stay competitive from the first move of round 1 to the last move of round 7.
Right.
So you just have to keep winning, and it's like a boxing match that you keep punching your opponent, and you can't let up. There's no way you should lose your concentration, and sometimes that could just lead to a mistake. Well, in this game, for example, I think it was a lot of fun. Actually, Lucas lost on time. Just full disclosure, right? Because also actually it's Black wins by timeout. I made a mistake there. This kind of thing happen.
It does.
It's 2 hours per player, but when you go to the Bayomi, you really have to match your time because it's 15 moves for 10 minutes, and sometimes you have to make a lot of important decisions, right? And that could be really difficult. And if you just don't pay attention to the clock, you might lose the game.
True. Just happens.
In any case, we should take a look at the game from last year. This was round 5, so I think it was on a Saturday morning. They just jumped out of bed.
Probably.
So, so actually in this game it was, I think, Jonas who took black?
Right.
Yeah, well, do you have the key for?
Yes. So,
Oh, okay, yeah, I think Lucas Kramer is white. And he at this time, he was the 4-time defending champion.
So may I add something like probably he didn't play in this corner, but upper right, which is for light. But because we have the Kifu from the scribe's perspective, it will be rotated also in the later reviews for this weekend.
Oh, okay.
So
just a perspective thing.
Yeah. I guess we just do it that way.
Yeah. And so this is a dual 3-4.
Yeah, actually this opening was really popular in what, like the 18th century or 19th? When was Shusaku time?
Yeah. People really like territorial stuff.
So it's really, really old, but still modern.
So what's the difference between like, I mean, there are different opening moves, right? What's your preference? Because there are a lot of players who play like the star point, right? If you're familiar with professional games, a lot of them play star point, or the 3-4, which is also komoku, and there's some other weird things. What's your preference?
I don't think it matters that much. I guess the important thing, or the common thing, is to open in the corner, right? Playing one move somewhere in this area to get a hold on this corner territory.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, you have seen all these crazy moves in the center, especially from players like Jonas and Manya maybe too. So maybe we see a couple of these, especially just like one day after International Penguin Day.
Was it? Oh yeah, it was October the 10th, right?
That's why.
Yeah.
I just read it.
You didn't know that?
I didn't think about that. Yeah, that makes sense. 10,
Okay,
10.
yeah, well, because it's it's top of the hill. That's why it is.
So, but I guess nowadays, I'm pretty certain that the corner moves are better. But like, 3-4 is a little bit more towards keeping the corner territory, while 4-4 is a little bit more towards influencing the rest of the board, because 4-4 is still open at 3-3 point.
Yeah.
But they're both fine. Like, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, it should matter less than sometimes in chess. If you just miss an opening, you might get checkmated immediately.
True.
But I'm not an expert, so I'll take other people's words for it. So actually, White approached the corner instead of taking two corners.
Yeah, it's both possible, right? I mean, taking another corner is big, but approaching this corner is just as big. So I guess it doesn't really matter.
I see.
Depends on your personal style. And I guess, this is actually the move that was popular in Shusaku time as well. Like, for the viewers who don't know, maybe we should explain who Shusaku was.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I didn't wear the tie. I have a go tie with the Shusaku move. But just to clarify to our new viewers, maybe some of you like in chat already screaming like, oh yeah, we know who Shusaku is. He's like one of the coolest guys in the world. But he was a very famous Japanese player. Who hold the Honmo title at the time, and this was back in ancient Japan. I think when they had disciples and senseis, and you would pass on your title to the next protege that you have. So he was one of the most famous players, and you may have known, like in Go history, there was a move that he played that was so good that his opponent's ear turned red. I really should bring that tie right now. I'm like, oh my god, why did I do that? So this is a very common opening in the Shusaku times, right? As we can see. Although this was not.
Yeah, they just played 4-3 these days.
Yeah.
But as I said, both was possible.
Right. So I think White played the
high approach. Sorry.
And common Joseki?
Yeah, I think this is the most common pattern after the high approach. Which
next.
So the idea is that Black gets this territory that's very safe now, but White gets this outside influence. Like, White needs to add another move in this direction, otherwise it might be a weak group rather than that.
Get attacked.
But if you make another move, you get some nice influence on the outside. You can aim towards building something on the side or in the center later.
I see. Well, I think that's what he's trying to do now, right? Because certainly he's got an approach done already. So, I mean, you can add another move to it. In fact, in the game, he did this double approach.
Yeah, I think that's a very common pattern with this shape in the corner. Like, to have both an extension from this as well as a double approach towards this. So I think it has been played many times before.
This is the Shusaku.
No longer Shusaku.
Because Shusaku just places when there's no picture still around, right?
Yeah, and also in Shusaku time, people never played a high approach because they were too greedy for territory. They always played a low approach instead, right? So in the shape, they always attack like that. a little similar to the modern boss. They also almost never play the high approach.
Yeah.
So maybe now with AI and computer Go, we can see we're closer to the old times again.
Yeah. Isn't that ironic that after so many years we return
It is. But
of advancing, we go back to our old patterns. But yeah, like it's a
so
pretty normal stuff
here, because this move is needed. Otherwise, if white neglects that and black enters here, then black has to worry only about this stone, which is a little weak because what groups are around. But white has to worry about this zone, and if he does something like that, and black moves out as well, then these stones are also not looking too good. They may not die, but they also won't provide to be so useful.
Seems like white's 2 weak targets now.
Yeah. So it's a good idea to play another move and defend and have some territory and also have something towards the center.
So we'll continue with the review. For those of you, just by the way, who if you are having sound problems on stream, we're trying to fix that right now. We're working really hard, so don't worry. We're working on it. It's sometimes it's not easy, you know. That's the thing people don't see. Like, what if the microphone breaks? Well, I hope not. So we'll just continue with the review now. This is a common Joseki, I think.
Yeah, black ignores and plays this approach, which is fine as well.
Well, this is the old full-on Shusaku.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like you know this probably from this manga and later the anime of Hikaru no Go.
Oh yeah, it was actually a lot of people probably know this if you are like in especially I think for Western audiences when they saw the anime. Of course, it's also wildly popular in Asia, right? Like almost all the Go players knew that there's this anime. You know, it was this I think it was this ghost of a player who was based off of Shusaku, right?
Yeah, actually, exactly. That's Sai. He was like the ghost.
Yeah. We're just taking we're just
Shusaku.
taking a trip down the memory lane right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, at one point, Hikaru walked into a Go club, and this move was really popular in Shusaku age, and Hikaru plays this move. Everybody's impressed, like, Kosumi! Wow, Shusaku! How does this kid know?
Yeah. This is the divine move. So I mean, this is all of this is normal stuff. Obviously, a lot of people in 2018 especially, we're seeing a lot more of the the small knight.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's nothing wrong with this one.
Yeah, I think especially in combination with that, it's just fine.
It's solid.
So now black plays this. It's a little unusual. Like usually you turn on this side, and white exams, then you can cut here.
Oh, I see. So what is black trying to do here?
Well, white has to choose, right? White could either capture that stone. Now this black stone cannot escape.
Right.
Maybe we can just do that for new players. Like, if black runs away, have to run with it.
Yeah. No more liberties.
And yeah, no more liberties.
Oh, that's so sad.
Of course, that would be very sad for black.
Yeah.
But black actually had a strategy with that. So instead of extending, black will cut here, threatening to capture this one. I guess
white has to take now.
Right. And now black can capture this stone and the ladder.
Alright, so ladder works. So this is a black stone in the bottom right, so we're sure this ladder will work.
So yeah, if white moves out, it will ladder.
Yeah.
And it will be caught. So black would get some nice outside strength here if white takes that.
I see. So in the game that didn't happen.
Something similar happened.
I guess. There's more exchange.
Yeah.
Black turn.
Yes, exactly. Black cut. And white again captured the cutting stone.
But white has choices, right? Can he do something else? Like, can he?
Yeah, you could.
Here?
Yeah, you could. But I guess he was afraid. I mean, if you play the connection.
Yeah, sure.
I think he might have been afraid of a move like that.
Oh wow. Like that's what we call in the industry a Tsuji. Exactly. A really good move. But how does this work? Seems like this is what we call a nose hit, right? If I'm being correct.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah, there's two choices,
paths.
right? Either
Yeah.
black can now block from the outside, or black can save this stone. So no matter what white does, black will get the other.
Yeah.
And so like this, white may be a little bit low. Also, there's a cut left, so still
There's a cut.
complicated.
Yeah.
And maybe we shouldn't dive into too many details here, but I think black could be fine with this as well. And if white moves out, then probably it's going to be a disaster for white, right? Because these
because black can connect.
stones are
Now it's
so
harder. Because white's surrounded, and now it's hard to kill any of the black groups. So, but that then obviously didn't happen.
yeah. So I think white didn't want to do that, which might be a good intuition. So white thought.
Yeah, so it's Atari. So it was the previous variation, but another direction.
Yeah. Similar way, black could also capture it in a ladder-ish now.
Yeah.
But of course, actually, this ladder, like, black gets strong here.
Yeah.
But it doesn't influence the rest of the board as much as a capturing a stone in this open area.
It's a relatively small area.
So probably the other one would have been better for black. And actually, in the game, black didn't play here, but here. Which is a little strange.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the idea was that if you play here, then very much later, if white plays this and this, there might be a threat of white escaping again.
I see. So black is trying to avoid outside force moves.
But I would say that this is quite far in the future, right? It's just after 2 moves. And this one leaves some weaknesses in the corner, which might be more immediate, like...
There's some agi, the potential for white to...
I mean, it's just this very huge endgame, which is annoying.
Yeah? Like this one?
Yeah.
And black has to, like, if black connects, then white...
Yeah, then all of the corner is gone, right?
Oh,
if black doesn't
looks ugly.
Connect, then...
so I think black has to do this one.
Yeah. So this can happen later in the endgame. And there might be some more complications in there.
Maybe not now, but, you know, there are more things, bigger things on the board, but there's always that possibility. And... so there's that, I guess.
But yeah, that's not that huge a difference. But
I see. Well, now it's white's turn.
Yeah.
So white kicks. Oh, well. This is like really solid.
Yeah, and it feels a little bit slow, right? Because this corner is just one stone play. So nowadays, people would probably just enter 3-3.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer. But since when do you not see the 3-3 start point?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just like less than 2 years that a move like that would be unthinkable, except in a special situation where black already has stones around, right?
Yeah.
But
well,
now
it was
one
thinkable.
of the most common moves if nothing else is there.
But yeah, it was obviously like one of the original like, Joseki is like you would try to, you know, play it out in full, and we always did this. And we thought, oh, well, okay, I guess it takes away a corner, but you know, this stuff is really good for black on the outside.
Right.
So a lot of people think we shouldn't really do this.
So white gets like 10 points in the corner, but black gets this huge, impressive wall.
Yeah, I mean, I remember there was a game in which my opponents played like 3-3 all the time, and actually finished like this Joseki. It sounds so funny now. I was thinking about it because every time they played this type of hand-hand connection, and now this is completely different. You know, we're
yeah, that's just like one of these things in human knowledge where just one mistake was propagated through sewers and nobody ever questioned it, right? Until bots started not playing that, and humans thought, oh wait, why did we always do the move?
Yeah, it actually makes a lot of sense. Right? With Tanuki, you can just do something else.
I think usually you crawl one more time and then you know.
So crawl one more time.
Because if you don't, and you just go away, then at some point black can play here.
Yeah.
And white should probably answer, and then black can also block here, threatening to kill the corner.
Yeah.
So that's why if you don't play this move, you should crawl one more time here. But this exchange, it also strengthens the black center, but not as much as this exchange, right? Because with this nice tiger's mouth shape, black group really has eyes already.
Yeah.
And a wall with eyes is much stronger than a wall without eyes.
Yeah, well, because if a wall doesn't have eyes, it could potentially become a weak group, right? Like, I mean, this is sometimes you could even attack this if the surroundings are strong enough, you could actually, really put pressure on this wall, quote unquote wall, from black. So that's more common nowadays, of course, in the game. White didn't do that, which is.
I mean, of course, this standard approach is still also very popular also with boss, right? I think I checked in the recent version of Lila, like this and this move are probably played about as often.
Oh, okay. So
this is also, I think also in this position, this move would just be fine too.
Yeah, I mean there are plenty of choices, right? But in the game, I think my personal opinion, I think this is quite big for black, the corner, and white's solid here, but I mean this is quite big, isn't it? It's huge. Like if that's like from the 3-3.
But maybe white had the plan of also building something big now. Huh?
So, well, that's what he did exactly. And the left side is quickly rising, and but for black as well.
Yeah, black plays this one, which builds the black one and also slightly reduces the white.
Yeah.
And yeah, this move really surprised me a little.
Yeah. Whoa. Oh, wow, the shoulder hit. What is this move trying to do?
I mean, usually a shoulder hit means like, okay, you can get more territory, and I will take something in the center.
Yeah. And so it's like reducing.
I guess white wants to maybe build territory here and also like reduce the potential of like Moyo here.
I see. So he's trying to build this top side. I guess reducing black at the same time. Also, in the game, I think black.
Like answer here, which is like very passive, but
maybe both players just being solid. They don't want to be. They want to go into the fight too early. Sometimes you want to avoid that.
I think there are alternatives to like just ignoring or playing this instead, trying to get away with the center, playing first somewhere else.
Yeah.
But okay, whatever, it's fine.
Whatever.
Now white played this, which is a little uncommon.
That's so bizarre.
Yeah, usually you don't really like giving black all of this huge corner, right?
Yeah.
So that you try to come a little closer and make it more complicated.
I'm pretty sure if we asked our Twitch chat audience like who would play here, they'll just be like, "What? What is this move?" Like normally you would think about when it comes to start point, you think about either invading the corner or approaching it. Right, but this is like it seems like black can get a nice enclosure here. So
maybe Lucas felt like he was doing well, or he wanted to play a calm game.
Yeah,
and he wasn't scared of giving away that much territory.
Calm as a rock at the moment. So well, that's I think that was a really good question already. Well, potential question. If any of you guys have any things you want to talk about, anything you want to ask Benny. Or if you want to ask me, I will give you a slightly worse answer. I'll just mostly direct all. I try not to, right? I try to do my job. But for those people, who's joining in, if you have any questions about this commentary, you can ask us anytime. We're definitely happy to answer that for you, and our producers will relay those questions, and hopefully we can get to them before it's too late. So there's that, and we said that white played here, which is a bit interesting because it allowed black to get this huge enclosure, and all of a sudden this rectangle of territory is almost like 40 points, right? If you take a look at this is 4x10, and there's still some ads, you guys.
Yeah, but the real question is what to do next, right? I mean, like
I don't know. You tell me.
It feels like the opening is almost over now, right? There's something everywhere.
Yeah.
And so I think the middle game and fighting will start fairly soon.
Yeah. Well, you can say that about life too. There's something everywhere. Benjamin Faber, 2018. But yeah, like the corners are settled, which means that both players are looking for spots to invade or reduce probably because they've already built their bases and that's where their territory will come from.
So standard strategy in Go be like to first build the corners, then build the sides, then build the center, right? So we see like this corner is been settled. This one has been settled. This has mostly been settled, although there might be some potential left. This has been settled. So now it's about the sides, right? This side is not that big. This one is actually big. These sides are not so clear. I don't know if black can ever enter here. So the normal thing probably to do would be what happened on the game, like this.
Yeah.
But actually, I have to admit I analyzed this game with a lila.
You didn't tell me how I actually did. I was just faking a surprise.
Yeah.
But what? So you analyzed on Lila? Is that like the software, right? I mean, we in the Go community.
Lila is the best available free Go bot right now, and it's
you say Go board.
Bot.
Oh, bot. I see it.
Yeah.
Lila is the best free Go board.
No.
I don't know, because like I mean, every time I talk to people at the tournament, they're always running like something. And this is the wonder of 2018. You can just build a really strong machine at home. You can just run it, and on some good hardware. It's like everyone can raise a dinosaur as a pet.
I mean, the interesting thing about Lila is that it still has some weakness from a human's perspective. Like, it doesn't deal with letters correctly, and it sometimes gets something horribly wrong. But its strength farly outweighed it, so exceeded or make up for it. So it still beats any human who doesn't manage to exploit its weakness. I think nobody ever does. So especially in a situation like this, Lisa's judgment is just so superior to humans that I think we can really rely on his judgment. And I was really surprised by seeing what move Lila proposed now.
Yeah. So what did Lila propose?
Yeah, Lila proposed playing here.
Oh my god.
And now that I see it, I start to like this move more and more. Because, this is big, but if we look what just happened here, White built something towards the center, and White is trying to build some big framework here.
Yeah.
On the other hand...
Just to reduce, right?
Yeah. And also, White has something here.
Yeah.
So this move has a lot of purposes. Like, it reduces this area, it threatens to enter here, and it also builds something for Black here, maybe.
Yeah.
Or aiming later at attacking here, or cutting here. It has a lot of purposes. And
I see. Well, so this game is just about to get good. Although we do have 5 games going on, so we'll just try to cover both of that. I think you told me that the key part of this game was like the mid game, right? It was the fighting.
Yeah, we see an interesting fight happening very, very soon.
So where's the fighting? Like, where does Black play next?
Yeah, so Black played here.
So far, it's been really peaceful.
Right.
Which is kind of speak through this one a little bit.
So this move is aiming to reduce Black here, threatening to go in, and also building this White top moyo.
So should Black respond, or?
Yeah, actually, Lila thinks that this move is not that good because it's not 100% forcing. So Black shouldn't respond. Like, Black should probably play here and try to aim for some counterattack. Like, first threaten to go here, build some strength, and then come from the outside and attack this one. And while attacking this, I can try to reduce this moyo as well.
Yeah. So I think that's the pivotal point, right? Because normally we look for important places to.
Because this move is good for Black, it also means that White probably should have just played something here and expanding here, and also still looking into this area.
I mean, I think he responded.
Yeah, he responded. So then, then White probably was successful with his exchange.
Yeah.
Actually, if White plays here, probably this move is slightly better because it has a 2, so Black should probably answer. Then you could do something here.
Oh yeah.
Or you could like continue from this stone, building here, which also threatens to dump in here. But this one, like, I see 2 problems with this move. First, Black can quite easily cut through.
Yeah. And
also, it doesn't threaten anything direct, right? If Black just ignores, White cannot do too much here. Like,
So
white will
I
just
guess
get cut.
Atari.
I mean, of course, there's some potential, but it's at least not that clear.
Yeah.
Not as clear as
Could have been easier.
like this. This is really clear, right? You don't even need to continue thinking about it.
So I mean, this one black has to block.
So the idea of continuing to build the center is fine, but this exact point seems a little off. And what happens is black cut.
Oh,
and
well, let's follow.
now it's getting fine.
And Hanes, as we expect, and black
Cut through.
needs to cut.
Yes.
Well,
Okay.
oh well, let's just get that stone up now. I think so. Was white trying to build this in Sente? You think just trying to make a wall?
Yeah, but white is also hoping that the stone still has some potential left, right? White is aiming at this point.
Yeah.
So black doesn't really know how to deal with it exactly. Like if black plays here, it might have less of a potential, but white gets this move in
The
center as
Atari in Sente is present. Yeah.
Yeah. So white is trying to just settle the top and creating some problems for black.
Yeah.
And we see that in the end, this strategy was very successful.
Yep.
Or maybe it shouldn't have been.
Well, that's where all the party began. Right?
So why just play this? This is another test move. Like white has no hope of just living in the corner by itself after all these black moves. But black needs to make a decision how to kill this. Like black could play from here.
Yeah.
Then white, despite not being able to live, has a chance to get some extra endgame moves, like from here.
Oh, I see. So that's Sente.
So now this stone died, but white got these moves, and which is some profit.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't want to give that, you can also try killing from here.
That's a stronger response.
Yeah, but then there might be some more potential and things to worry about. I don't know, maybe something with this, or
I hate that so much.
You don't know how much
don't even
have done, or just that this move is now threatening something more severe.
Yeah.
So white just wants to see how black does before going into all the details of this fight. And black play the calm move.
I see.
So white already gained a little. And now
some Sente exchanges, they're available for later. But now
white is heading
as you said,
straight into this area.
Oh my god.
So the idea of this move is
if
black just cuts and takes the white move here, then white can connect here, right?
Yeah. Well, then white can.
Black cannot cut it because this one is threatening to capture black, the answer, and white can take this.
Right. Now there's no way for black to intercept this invasion, right? And black will lose a lot of points.
So that would be very painful for black.
So he has to fight back, right?
He has to do something else.
He can't go back.
And in the game, he played this one, which more or less seems to do the job. But probably would have been better to play here.
Oh.
Because if white just answers,
then
black can come back here, and now this problem has gone because if white plays here, black can play this one, and this is now Atari threatening to capture this one.
Is white? Black worried about, for example, if white captures this quite easy. But what if white counterattacks?
Yeah, I don't think that works. Have to play this one, right? Black will connect.
Yep.
And I think these two stones have very few.
This is 3 versus 2. I mean, there's 2 versus 2, but technically, white cannot throw in.
White cannot approach from here because then black can just take it and stay in here. So that's why, even though it looks like 2 liberties only,
it's really a bit of dominant.
It's effectively 3 liberties, and white has 2. So we'll win that.
So it's that black win the capture, right?
Yeah.
Well, that didn't happen. Obviously, sometimes it's hard when you're just spectating a game. You can see all the cool moves, but when you're in it, you just don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Anyways, I mean that's not the end of the story, right?
Yeah.
So I probably wouldn't play here, but rather play here.
Yeah.
And then black would play this Atari. And now white is threatening something like this.
Squeeze.
Not just squeeze, but capturing, right? So black just connects like this, black can just play here, and the 2 stones are gone.
Right. Well, that would be disaster. Cause,
So black needs to deal with that first.
probably fix.
Yeah. I would play here. Somehow, Lila proposed this one. White would take, and black plays here.
Oh.
And apparently now,
Okay.
although there's some complications,
Yeah.
the white stones have fewer liberties than the black, so seems like black is gonna be fine here.
Oh, so, okay. But it does require some sacrifice in the corner.
Yeah,
Right.
but if black just captures these on a large enough scale, then black is fine.
Yeah. Also, that didn't happen.
Exactly. But that would be the idea of this move.
Yeah.
But yeah, black play here, which also works for now because white plays here. Black can do this one, and white also doesn't have a lot of liberties.
So that doesn't work anymore.
Right, because black has an extra this liberty extra. So this cut isn't yet Tari and exactly like capture white.
Yeah, this is 2 versus 1. So white needs to do something else. I mean, what would Lucas do? That's always the question you ask. What would Lucas do? He did not do that.
Yeah.
He
immediately followed here,
yep.
Which is a good move. It's very complicated. And Jonas replied.
Yep.
But this leaves some problems with that shape. So maybe it's better to just play here, really eat it, and have white run out and try to attack the group on a large scale. And also, afterwards, there's still some weaknesses in the white territory. There might be some... Like this move can be a bit annoying. After this, there's something here because these stones don't have so many liberties.
You just won't leave people's moils alone, will you?
Yeah, maybe this one or something more subtle, aiming for it. And if I play this one once, then there's more annoying stuff in the corner.
I see.
So even after white played this is not totally territory yet.
So
black played here.
Black played here. I'm just trying to wrap my head around this fight. It's so hard.
Yeah, of course, it's really, really complicated. Yeah, black blocks. Usually this would be considered black bad shape, right? There's an empty triangle, and one of the first things beginners are told is not make empty triangles. But sometimes even an empty triangle is the best move.
Well, you must not overlook it, right? Sometimes it can be the best move.
Yeah, and here it's very important to take away your liberty of the white stones.
I see.
Because if white doesn't defend, then I can just play here and capture them. And that wouldn't be possible if I had avoided the black empty triangle. Play here. So now
that'd be a lot looser.
Yeah. So this liberty matters a lot. So it's natural to lock.
Even though it's bad shape, you need to do it, right?
Right.
So I mean, this is I mean a big fight. It's pretty decisive. Whoever wins it is gonna, do really well in this game. Although Lucas did lose on time, so that was really fortunate. We say that it is no joy, when you're playing and you just realize, oh, you lost in time, but you had a good position, and that's always one of the worst things, right? But from the perspective of the game, I think this is pretty crucial. So we're just gonna, I guess we'll just watch like the end of this fight. Probably.
Yeah, and then we jump into today's action.
Yeah. Because that's also going on, by the way. If you want to follow the real game, you can go to a KGSO server. I believe, I don't know which room it is, but you can. What?
Deutsche Ecke, the German.
Oh, Deutsche Ecke.
German corner.
German corner. Well, there you go. That's a confirmation from our wonderful producing staff, who will always help us. I don't know what to do. But yeah, like Deutsche Ecke, which is the I guess the German room. I've never been there, so I need to hang out more often. But yeah, we'll just I guess wait until we finish this fight.
Right. So yeah, this is another interesting move by Lucas. You would expect him to just play this one, right? To connect these two stones for now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks like white might die here.
Yeah.
Like. Sorry about that. So yeah, black would play here, and white probably has fewer liberties than black.
Yeah.
but still, white might be alright, because white can play this move, which aims at the cut, so black should probably defend. And even though white has fewer liberties than black, at least white will get some forcing moves like this one with the center, which is quite huge. And white already gained this forcing move here. So overall, white can probably just play like that. But
okay. So white would just give up those stones.
Yeah. But Lucas had some other plans. He played this one.
Oh.
With the idea that if black takes the 2 stones now.
Yeah. White can squeeze.
Yeah, white can cut there, right?
Yeah. Can he? Like, I mean,
yeah, let's have a look. Didn't think about that.
What about that one? What about the Atari?
Yeah, I mean, oh, that would be some cool, right? But I think even if black walks to manages to walk into this white territory, if white captured these stones, white might still be fine. That's quite huge. This was black territory, and now if it becomes white territory, maybe that's worth losing this territory for.
Yeah, the gain's bigger than the loss. Right. So, well, that didn't happen.
Of course not.
The commentator's never right. So
black just answered here.
Yeah.
And now white has no time to lock in the corner, right? Because after this doesn't work anymore, and black could capture.
Yeah.
So white plays here. And black gets this wonderful Atari.
Yeah.
Yeah, white cut. Even though white can capture something immediately, it feels good to create some RG. Black responds by good shape.
So white pushes.
Yeah, black has to answer.
Yeah. And wow.
Yeah, he's hoping for some ko.
Doing nasty.
Which maybe black should just play, but Lucas wanted to keep it simple, and this one is also just good for black, I guess.
Yeah. So white just connects.
Black connects.
Then
white
there was no ko.
Black extend once. This one. Plays in the corner.
And white plays in the corner.
Yeah.
Right, he's definitely not going to let black just live in the corner. It's going to be way too big.
Yeah, that's too big. And also this group is still not really live, is it?
And there's a cut in point.
Yeah, there's a cut, and so white has to go all in.
Now that's what we call a lot of empty triangles.
It is.
Yeah.
So although these 2 stones are captured now, black can now walk in here.
Yeah.
And get some additional liberties to aim for capturing these white stones first.
I see. Well,
and
this is black's only choice, right? He has to run out. So.
There's this move. This is actually a very, very bad move, and it's also very, very bad shape. And it's one of the bad shapes that are so badly neglected in teaching Go. Like this, I think this shape.
Yeah.
It's like a nice jump, which has been completely cut by 2 stones. Like this is maybe the single worst shape you can build in Go, and it's like 100 empty triangles.
It's worse than the B2 bomber, really?
Maybe not. but the B2 bomber doesn't happen that often, right?
Yeah.
But like from the elementary
no, wait. It happened here.
Yeah, okay. But this shape, I heard a lot of nice names for that. Like one Japanese told me he calls this shape Romeo and Juliet because they are so close together, but they can never join, right? They can never be together.
Oh my god!
They're always separated.
It just became very, very tragic.
Yeah. So you really don't want to make a move like this, which makes your stones so close,
separated,
cut through completely.
So I guess white ran out.
Yeah, white ran out. Black turn here. Now white has to defend.
So where did where did Lucas play?
Lucas played here. And
Romeo versus Juliet.
Now Jonas had probably the chance of this game to just finish it with one move. Because if black plays here, the white group is just dead and has very, very few liberties. and white can try to capture these black stones sooner, but I don't think, and more importantly, Lila doesn't think that this is gonna happen.
Right. So I mean, what about what black group? That was what I was thinking when you said white didn't have a lot of liberties, but black only has 5. So can white do something here?
But white cannot take liberty with each move, right? For example, white goes here, black might just play this empty triangle.
Yeah. I mean, can black just do this one? Maybe just kills?
Oh yeah, can, right? But I mean, white can get some move like this, threatening. Threatening a ladder. Somebody needs to respond.
Okay.
White can continue. Yeah, but now it's one more liberty already, and I think black can gain at least one more liberty here as well.
Right.
And the white group also has very few liberties.
Yeah.
So black should win this capturing race without diving too much detail.
But he didn't.
No, he was scared of that.
Rarely do you utter the phrase Jonas is scared of something. Normally pretty fearless. We'll just, I think we're almost at the end of this. I mean, that was what the opportunity he missed, right? He could have killed white.
Actually, he gets another opportunity here.
Yeah.
White plays here, which may also be a mistake because this move might be a little more ice space and also aiming a little more for some black weaknesses here.
Yeah, like there's a bit
After this, there's not much left to do.
Yeah.
And now, black in the game, black play here.
Yeah.
But actually, if black play here, white is still just dead. And now black even has more liberties.
Oh my god.
So I'm not sure what white is. Maybe white has some plan, but I just don't see it. I think white can try to capture this or do something, but it won't succeed.
Yeah, I mean, in that case, if white dies here, I mean, there's nothing left, right? But in the game, that didn't happen.
Yeah, so Jonas maybe was a little too nervous, or I don't know. So
we're just told by the producers that we have 2,200 viewers now. So, and they put in all caps, no pressure. Yeah.
Oh god.
No,
I'm scared now.
Yeah. Don't worry, it's gonna be fine. But if you're just watching, we're actually just if you're having sound issues, we apologize for that. We'll just probably restart the stream just in a bit as we. And this is pretty much like I think the key points we'll cover, right?
Yeah, I mean, of course, there's some more. Now, white is clearly alive with this group.
Yeah.
Which means that the black group is struggling, right? The black is now doing something here.
Yeah.
And white probably could attack black a bit more severe than he later did in the game. White was just playing very calm, like this, black cut here, and taking these.
Yeah.
Exactly, black almost captured these. They have some potential left in the corner. But yeah, Lucas felt that he was having a superior position with this simple way, and I guess he was right. This could be just winning, and it seems to me like he never lost the lead afterwards until he just lost on time.
Oh, that's always sad. Well, but that was from yesteryear or last year. It's a nice old English word. But for those who just joined, we'll be just right back. What you're watching now is the German Go Championship 2018. Just want to inform people who just joined. This is live commentary. We're from Bremen, Germany. So we'll be just right back with the live game. If you want to focus on some of the actual SGF in real time, you can do that on KGS Go server. However, we'll just take a short break. Don't go away because we're not ending the stream. We'll just try to fix some sound issues. Again, thank you so much for your patience. And if you have any questions about the stream, let us know or type Twitch chat, get involved. And yeah, we'll be right back with the live action from Board 1.